Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another Walking Dead discussion topic. This time around, I'm going to be doing the discussion topic: Who stole the gun that was in the blender? So, who basically stole Rick's gun? So, if you guys remember back and remember in episode 12, remember when Rick went back to that house, he was searching for the gun, make sure it was still there. Come to find out that it wasn't there anymore, and then a bunch of zombies come along. Carl gets in the action and kills a bunch of zombies. But the thing is that the gun isn't there. So who stole the gun? So yeah, now basically this gun has recently been called, from what I can tell or seen, the J gun. Trev's chant too. I know he basically coined the name. Um, yeah, but even in some other discussion topics, I've seen people say, the J gun, who stole the J gun or whatever, and forums and stuff like that. So whatever, who stole the J gun? So yeah, quick. Many people are wondering what does the J stand for. For me, the J could stand for Judith, because Judith J possibly stand for that. Judith's gun in the future, or J could also stand for Joe. And yeah, if you guys remember back, Joe's group in season 4, towards the end, possibly that J could stand for that because they claimed everything. They would say claimed, and maybe they put their initials on it. So J, I think that makes sense too. So yeah, maybe Judith or Joe. Aside from that, I really can't really think of anybody else who starts with a J, that would be alive to this point. Before Alexandria, that wouldn't have knowledge of the gun, and even after that, Judith doesn't really have knowledge of the gun. I mean, so yeah, basically, who stole the gun? Now, from what it appears, I think the most likely choice would have to be Enid. Yeah, Enid or Enid, whatever you want to call her. And if you guys don't know who she is, if you guys saw the previous episode, um, basically she's that teenage girl that snuck out of Alexandria, and and I think it's possibly her. And now I am gonna be doing a discussion topic on what her whereabouts are, what's she doing, because she's not from the comics, so she's a completely new character. So I'm probably gonna do not a character spotlight, but like what's going on with her. Why did Enid sneak out of Alexandria or something like that? A discussion topic based on that. But this one's again on the J gun. So I think she's the most likely answer because aside from Rick, aside from Rick and Carl, because Carl was there at the time too when Rick was searching for the gun. Aside from them two, nobody else would really have any type of knowledge on the gun. As opposed, so it has to be someone that was around that area, and the Alexandria safe zone is around that area, about half a mile away. And the only people who seem to sneak out of it, or not sneak out, but who seem to go out of Alexandria are Aaron and Eric. But the thing is that Aaron and Eric were with the group at that time, so they wouldn't know. The only other possible options would be Nicholas and Aiden, because they do supply runs over here and there. So Nicholas and Aiden are likely options. And then you have Enid. So yeah, and also Enid was seen around. I believe at the beginning of the episode. And remember, she was seen in that house, or she was seen in a house. I missed it. I rewatched it, and I found I couldn't really find where that was. I rewatched the episode. I couldn't really find where that was, but there are images of that episode where you see Enid right inside a house looking at Carl. So that's interesting in my opinion. So um so yeah, for me the most likely option would have to be Enid, followed by Aiden and Nicholas. Thing is that Aiden and Nicholas, they're really naive. They're really naive. They're really dumb. They're really naive. Nicholas in the comics, he's actually pretty cool. He's pretty badass. Yes, he does have a bit of a temper issue, but whatever. And in the comics, and Aiden, he doesn't really exist in the comics, per se. He exists, but at the same time, he doesn't exist. Aiden in the comics, his name is different. In the comics, his name is Spencer, and in the comics, he's a bit more suicidal, to say the least. A bit more reckless, a bit more suicidal. And it does show, like, it does appear that they have taken that same role with Aiden. So yeah, but for me, it has to be Enid because she's the only one that's really sneaking around. She's the only one that really seems to have some kind of mystery behind her. Everybody else seems to be pretty straightforward. Aiden, he's a supply runner, and he's the son of Deanna. Nicholas, he has a son, Mikey, and he's a runner. Everybody else is pretty straightforward for the most part. Aside from that, aside from Enid, the only other person that doesn't really seem to be straightforward is Diana or Deanne, and that's only because she's the leader, so there is a bit more mystery to her. But aside from that, everybody else in that community is pretty straightforward by the books. So yeah, so who do I think stole the J gun? I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that it has to be Enid. I mean, it could be just some random person, yes, but it's very unlikely that there's going to be a random person around that. I mean, there is a speculation on the wolves, which I will do a discussion topic on that too. Who are the wolves or what's going on with the wolves? Because we have seen several Easter eggs hinting towards the wolves. And yeah, some people speculate that maybe a remix of the Scavengers, which in the comics is Derek's group, and in that group, Derek is the only one who's actually named. It's just Derek and then like 5 other people who are unnamed, which again I'll get to that later on in another video. So yeah, who stole the J gun? Most likely, in my opinion, most likely from most likely to least likely would have to be Enid. Yeah, Enid, Aiden, and Nick, because they're more or less a combo, and then the wolves, and then fourth will be some random group, some other random group. Um, so yeah, that's basically it for this discussion topic. Who do you think stole the J gun? Comment all that down below. Let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. Remember to follow me on Instagram, Daniel Mart. And aside from that, like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.